Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I decided to turn the camera on and film my favorites from the drugstore. I did a few videos at the beginning of the year, the best in beauty videos, and I do them every year. And I have been doing that for several years now where I share my best in beauty for the previous year. And I like to post those videos at the start of the year. And I did a bunch of videos this year, the complexion category of products for eyes and lips. And so I wanted to do one for the drugstore, and somehow this video continuously got pushed towards the end of my list of videos to do and film. So I decided that I'm going to turn the camera on today. I applied a lot of these products on my face so you can see that I am wearing them. And then I can kind of point them out as we go through the video. And I wanted to share with you some gems from the drugstore. As many of you've probably noticed on my channel, I personally enjoy high-end makeup, luxury makeup. It's what I feel like I've had the best success with when it comes to foundations, concealers, and just all different types of makeup products. I've been happier with higher end products, and I haven't had the best of luck with the drugstore when it comes to complexion products. But I found a few in those categories that I really wanted to share, and I feel like these specific groupings of products are truly really special formulas. And like I said, most of my collection of makeup is high-end products because that's just what I like, and I try to incorporate more drugstore products. I used to use a lot of drugstore way back in the day, and I did kind of a mix of high-low on the channel, and you guys seem to enjoy that, so I wanted to continue doing that. And so I'm kind of testing and revamping my collection and trying some new products, new releases, new hyped up viral products, and some things are working out and then just other things are not working out for me. So these products I do 100% believe they are truly worth spending money on. They're worth checking out if you haven't tried them already. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let's get started with primers. The first primer up is going to be from e.l.f. This is the Power Grip Primer with the Niacinamide. This is the one that's pink. They do have a green one that is the first Power Grip Primer that's sticky and grippy that the brand came out with. And who remembers the Jelly Pop Primer? That was one of my very favorites. I remember using that when I was pregnant with my almost 3-year-old, and that was the primer that I used so much, and I don't even know if they have it anymore. I should probably check the e.l.f. website and see if they have it and repurchase, because I remember really liking how it smelled like watermelon, and it was like a kind of watermelon pink tube. But this one is a little bit stickier than that if you have that primer, just to kind of compare them. This one I do like because it does leave the skin feeling a little sticky and then a little tacky, which is great when you're putting on liquid products because it helps sort of grip it on and keep it on, and it gives you a better longevity with your foundations. So I use this primer under only liquid foundations, skin tints, serum tints, those type of liquidy consistencies. That's when I'll use this. If I'm going to use a pressed powder or like a mineral based powder for the day just to kind of quickly dust something on to even things out, I won't reach for that because I feel like the stickiness really doesn't work when you're putting a powder directly on top. So use this type of primer if you like that kind of grip and you're looking for something like that. Use this with a liquid formula like a foundation, skin tint, serum tints, those type of things, and you'll be fine. You'll see that this will help kind of lock everything into place and kind of keep it from moving around throughout the day. The next product has a claim to be kind of a multi-purpose thing, but some of the claims I don't quite understand, and we'll get to it. It's the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. Now, I bought this when I was pregnant with my son and tried to use some of this, but I really got into it a lot last year, which is why I'm sharing with you in the best drugstore for 2023, because I really did use this a lot last summer as a sort of quick summer glow routine. And I'm pretty sure I did a video sharing that with you. And if I find the video, I will link it somewhere here in the cards. But this product claims to be a primer, concealer, highlighter, and BB cream. So the concealer and the BB cream claim, that's a tongue twister. I don't really see it because this doesn't really have a lot of coverage. I can see the primer, sure, and the highlighter, yes. It has a bit of glow to it. It is a little bit more sheer, okay? So this is going to give you a very soft kind of candlelit glow. It's not going to be to the level of a Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, if you're familiar with that, or the next product that I'm going to talk about that's kind of similar to this product. But this one, I use it as a sort of glowy primer underneath, which is why it's in my primer category for this year. But I also like to use this sometimes in the summer when I'm using like a tinted SPF, for example, and I want to add a little bit of glow. I can kind of do this on my face over the SPF, hit it with a little bit of concealer, and then do some bronzer and extra glow with highlighter, and then call it a day and keep the routine for the summer minimal, quick, easy, minimalistic. And I like using that, but you have to like a bit of glow to enjoy this product. So the other product that's kind of similar to that, but a little bit more amped up, and probably the closest dupe at the drugstore that I have personally, in my opinion, have tried to the Charlotte Tilbury, is going to be the Halo Glow Filters from e.l.f. I have a few shades. I actually have a deeper one in my drawer, which I will show you. The deeper one I use for bronzing purposes, so it looks like this. And this is the shade number 6, Tan Deep. So this is what I use in the summer when I want to have a bit more glow, or if I need to change the color of my foundation for summertime, that's when I will use that dark shade. But year round, these are my go-tos. The first shade is called Fair, and I bought Fair because that's what I use in the Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is much more peach in comparison to that one. And the glow, I think, is a lot more obvious, especially when you look at it in the bottle. I don't know if it's just because mine is laying down and it just looks that way, but it is very, very luminous. And so I bought this with the intent to use it as a primer, as a liquid highlighter, a mix into foundation, or a mix into my moisturizer, which I still do all those things. And then to use it in place of foundation in the same way that I would use maybe the Maybelline 4-in-1. But the peachy tone was just a little off against my neck and my chest. So then I bought the next shade, which is shade number 2, and this one is described as Fair Light. So this one, to me, this is the darker one, has a more skin tone color that I can actually use and blend. And this one looks, I don't know, like I said, maybe it's the way this one kind of sits in my drawer, but this one doesn't look as glowy as this one, which is kind of weird unless they did change the formula since they launched. Okay, now we get to move into the concealer category, and I have a few products in that category to share with you. So I'm going to start with the Brightener, and I have to give it to the Maybelline Eraser Brightener. This is the pink shade, and it's number 160. I really do like this product. I think it brightens and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Again, it has that kind of round puffy tip just like their 4-in-1 Perfector does. I use this to kind of dot it on, and then I blend with a tool. I don't use this, especially after using it for a while. It does get kind of gooped up, as most kind of puffy tip products do over time. I don't use it to blend because then it's too much product. I do like how thin this is and how it gives me a bit of a pink under eye brightness that I can use on its own for a kind of minimalistic look with maybe one of the Hollywood Flawless filter type of products, or the Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury. Or I can use this when I'm doing a full face of makeup and use this as a brightener for the inner corner and then layer it with a more full coverage concealer. And I do really enjoy how it looks under the eyes. I also really like the skin tone colors. I used to use the Fair one many years ago, and I really enjoy it. So maybe I should kind of revisit that. So I do feel like the Eraser line of products from Maybelline is a good concealer range to check out if you haven't already from the drugstore. And then I think my most favorite concealer of all time from the drugstore has to be the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. I don't think I've tried anything yet thus far that competes to this. This was a discovery last year because I follow Bethany Frankel, and she has a lot of information, a wealth of knowledge on products. She tests things are sent to her, and she buys products to try out and share her opinions on. And she did a video about concealer, and I forget how long ago this was. I want to say it was like right around the summertime, maybe spring. Anyways, she did a video about concealers, and she said that this was top notch. This was the best of every single concealer from the drugstore that she tried, and she's not wrong. This is beautiful. It's full coverage. I'm wearing this today. I'm wearing mostly vanilla, which I did purchase a bit darker than my year-round shade because I had gotten some color over the summer last year, and the shade that I normally use, which is called Alabaster, was too light. This is very brightening and very intense with the level of brightness because it is so light. So that's why I bought vanilla, but honestly, vanilla is not that far off from Alabaster where I can't pull this off. Like I said, I'm wearing this, the majority of this today, and then a little bit of Alabaster, just like a dot to brighten the inner corners because I do like a bright under eye, and this is a full coverage. I do have the foundation, by the way, from this line, and it's good, but it's not my favorite. And I don't have a lot of favorites for foundation, so we're just gonna kind of skip over that because Like today, I'm trying again the Revlon Illuminance Serum Tint Foundation or Serum Tint product that hasn't been working out for me, and it's okay. It's not really giving me what I want it to give, and I keep trying to make it work. And that's my issue with drugstore foundation. Since we're on that topic right now, I have a hard time finding not only a good match, but a good formula that absolutely blows me away. So here's what I want from you guys. If you have a drugstore foundation that you really like, not a skin tint, because I've lost faith in the skin tints from the drugstore after this situation with Revlon, but if you have a foundation from the drugstore that you absolutely love, let me know what it is. I want to hear from you because I want to try and get back into the drugstore foundations. I remember using one from Wet n Wild years ago. I think it's the Photo Focus, and they still make it. I bought that when it first came out. This was probably, 7-8 years ago at this point. And it literally gave me perioral dermatitis all over my chin. And it took months, like almost a year, to take care of that issue with my skin. So since then, I've been very, very cautious with drugstore complexion products. And I'm very careful with brands and ingredients. And I'm really slow coming around to the drugstore foundation products because I've been burned in the past. So if you have good recommendations, please send them my way because I'm all ears. Same applies to powder. I don't really have a lot of drugstore powder options that I like. There's a few that I own that are good, but again, nothing that wows me that makes me want to use them in place of my higher end products. So we're gonna skip the powder category and we're gonna go to the next part of my routine, which would be bronzer. And I've got two. I'm gonna start with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and this is probably one that is most known across the board compared to the next product that I'm going to show you, but this one is the original. They do have a luminous version or range within the line, but this one in tan lines is what I'm wearing today, mixed with the other product that I'm going to show you in here in a moment. This is a really pretty, just a standard bronze shade. It has no sort of glow or luminosity to it. The texture is different than using a liquid or a cream. It's a little drier than a cream, but it blends really nicely. And I have a brush that I like, the A24 from the Morphe and Ariel brush collection that I purchased a while back. This brush fits perfectly in this little jar. And I like how this easily blends with a brush. It goes over any foundation, whether I use this and let's say my Armani foundation. It looks beautiful. I can use this over the 4-in-1 and it's beautiful. It's a great, great solid sort of cream style product from the drugstore that's a bronzer. And then the other product that I really do like and I'm using right now, wearing today, is the liquid contour from Milani. But this one, even though it says contour from Milani, I use this as bronzer in the shade called Honey. And I'm not sure if they do have a lighter, kind of more cool tone shade in this range, but this is what I use for my bronzer if I wanted to do a liquid bronzer from the drugstore. This is the one that I would pick up, and again, it has that sort of puffy tip that kind of gets messy. Not kind of, does get messy over time, but it is what it is, and I like to apply it like little lines, little dots, and it blends out beautifully. It's a little bit more on the drier side, and not in a bad way, in a way that it kind of looks more matte on the skin. It's not as luminous or radiant or dewy looking, and it doesn't have a shine where it looks like it needs to be set with a powder bronzer over the top. I love this formula and I enjoy that very, very much. Now, as far as blush, I don't have a lot of blushes either from the drugstore that I really, really like. I do have one that I have tried and I keep coming back to. And of course, it's the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. I do like the putty formula in the bronzer. So the putty blush is very similar in the formula to the bronzer. This one is the luminous one in Bermuda. It's what I'm wearing today. And it gives a really pretty glow to the skin. It's a nice kind of cranberry type shade. There is, like I said, a glow to this, but it's very soft, very ethereal, very candlelit. It's not chunky, it's not glittery, it's not big specks of shimmer on the skin. And I think that's why I keep coming back to it. The color's really pretty. I would say that the color kind of shears out to a soft kind of wash of pink, which I love pink. Even though this looks more cranberry, it doesn't look like that when it is applied. It's really, really pretty, and it gives a nice soft glow. So I do keep coming back for this shade, and I did have some other shades, and I have no idea what happened to them. I think I need to kind of reorganize my drawer because my blush drawer is out of control, and it's probably somewhere kind of in the mess that's inside that drawer. So hopefully I can find those other shades. If not, I do plan on ordering some more of the putty blushes, maybe some of the more matte formulas in their range of putty blushes, because they're pretty, they're easy to work with, they have color, they show up, and they stay on really well. So these are definitely worth checking out from the drugstore. Now for highlighter, I'm going to show you my favorite one. I think Milani makes really great highlighters. I do love their Strobe Light Afterglow highlighter. I had a mini, which I still own. It's like 2-3 years old at this point, but it is absolutely stunning. It is so, so good. And they still make it. And I will show you. Mine is a mini size that I have had for a long time. The Afterglow Strobe Light. So that's the full name. So it looks like this. It has a really pretty kind of embossing kind of look to it. That is gorge. Okay. But I did pick up one of their baked highlighters. They do have a line of baked blushes, which are really great. And also baked bronzers and highlighters. So I picked up the highlighter in Dolce Perla number 110. That's what I'm wearing today, and it is absolutely incredible. It's a beautiful champagne with a pink undertone to it, and it's just incredible. It's soft, it's pretty, it goes on like a dream, and this actually looks and wears and applies like something that I would use and expect from a high-end brand. So do not sleep on the baked highlighters. If you like an intense glow, definitely check this out. I would say this is a little softer than the Afterglow. If you're wanting something that's really intense and blinding, I would check out the Strobe Light range. Otherwise, if you want something softer and more kind of scaled back, definitely check out the baked formula within the Milani range, because those are awesome. Moving into the eye category of products, I'm going to start with brows. And I have to share my Lift and Snatch Brow Pen from NYX. I have been using this for months every single day. I wear the shade Brunette. It has a typical sort of liquid liner applicator. It's like a brush tip. And I go in and I apply little strokes to mimic the effect of a hair, because I do have a lot of areas in my brows that do not have hair. They stopped growing from overwaxing and plucking when I was in my early 20s. I am not able to get the hair to grow back, so I do overfill my brows to get me a full brow effect, what you're seeing right now on camera. And I do use this on camera and off camera. I cannot do my brows without this, and I love this so much that I don't want to be without, so I ordered it back up, and it's still in its box sitting pretty in the drawer waiting for this one to dry out. But this has been in my collection for, I want to say, at least a good 6 months, and there's still seemingly a lot of formula in here. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to finish this entire thing up before it gets expired, because these, I don't know what the expiration, it says 6 months. Well, I've already passed that. So anyways, disregard that because I'm still going to use it. But the Brow Tint Pen is really great and it does a job. I've used some higher end versions of this and I just keep coming back to this. So I'm just going to keep buying that one and keep using it. Eyeliners and mascaras. Let's talk about the Epic Ink Liner. So it's a very similar, exact, actually, component to the Brow Tint Pen. So I do have to keep these separated. Otherwise, I will be using liquid liner through my brows. This is the liner that I'm wearing today. I have the shade Brown. I love this so much that, again, when I bought my backup of the Brow Tint Pen, I bought a backup of this in brown, and I also purchased it in the black shade so that I can use it when I finish my other black liquid liners. The brown is the perfect brown. It's not too warm and it's not so dark that it looks almost black, because if I use a brown liner that looks almost black, I might as well just use black, right? I want to be able to look at my eyeliner and tell that it is a nice, deep, rich chocolate brown shade. And that's exactly what this is. And it's so easy to apply. It goes on very seamlessly. And I was shocked by how many times I've used this liner and I don't make mistakes. I can use maybe my Benefit Extreme Precision Liner and kind of get somewhat of a not so straight line. Or I can use a brand, any high-end brand, or other drugstore brands, and I cannot get a line to be smooth and just even on the first time. It's not a first time go for me, but with this, it's always a first time go. Like I can just literally just do this in seconds and it's perfect. I don't have to go back and fix it. I don't have to make one thicker to kind of balance out the mistake that I made on the other eye. It's just easy. It's an easy liquid liner to use, and therefore I keep using it. And then for mascaras, I do have a lot of good mascaras that I've tried from the drugstore over the years. I do think that the drugstore for mascara is just pretty much 10 out of 10 most times. I rarely have ever had an experience where the drugstore completely just let me down with mascara. And I feel like that's probably the best place to get mascaras. I do love my high-end mascaras and I do buy them often and all the time, trying new ones and brands that I've never tried before. But I just go back to the drugstore because they're cheap and inexpensive, that I can just continuously replenish very easily. They're easily accessible as well. If you don't have an Ulta near you or a Sephora, you can always find a Target or Walgreens, a CVS, and pick up a drugstore mascara. So the one that I'm going to talk about is the Revlon Telescopic Lift. I've been using this for a couple of months, and I really do enjoy this for giving me very intense lashes. So you have to like more of a dramatic look to your lashes, because this does make the lashes look pretty intense. Now, I will say 2 coats is really max with this. I feel like if I were to go more than that, I end up getting more of a clumpy look, a more, I hate to say spider lash look, because that doesn't necessarily line up with a great formula or a great mascara. But if you use too much of this, it can sort of start gathering the lashes together. So 2 coats, 2 even coats, and it's really great. But again, it's a very dramatic lash effect. It's not very soft, light, fluffy, wispy, sort of, are you wearing mascara or are those your real lashes that look that great? You can tell you're wearing this. It's very intense. So I do like this one, but I also like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. That's a little bit of a softer look compared to this, but they're both neck and neck for me as far as the top from the drugstore. But this is my favorite that I've been using for almost 3 months now, and I really do like it, and I think it's worth checking out. And that was a good new sort of discovery and release from L'Oreal last year, and I do like it. I do think it's great. So I'm also going to skip over the eyeshadow section of the drugstore as well, because I don't have a lot of favorites that I used a lot last year. I'm trying to stick to products that I discovered last year, products that I reached for over and over again in the year of 2023. But I will give an honorable mention to one palette that I've been using a lot, and I bought this palette actually last year, but I didn't really get into it too much until this year, and it's the Colourpop formula for pressed eyeshadows. So the one that I'm wearing today is a few shades from the 1111 palette. I bought this when the Cloud 9 palette released, which is a very cool tone palette. Very cool, very different, but it's very icy and very, very cool tone shades. This one is an honorable mention because it is very much everyday type of shades for me. I absolutely love everything about this palette, so I'm going to give it an honorable mention because since I started using this a lot this year, I realized I made a mistake by not using this. Last year, I bought this, I think in October maybe, and it kind of got lost in the back of the drawer. I didn't pay attention to it as much, and I didn't think much of it because I don't have high hopes, unfortunately, for drugstore eyeshadows. And so this kind of, I've been sleeping on the pressed eyeshadow formula from Colourpop. So if you're looking for some good affordable eyeshadows, check out that brand and see what they've got that you'd be interested in trying. Because so far, revisiting their formula, I feel like it's much more of an improvement from what it used to be years ago when I want to say it's the Jaded palette or So Jaded, when they did a collab with Kathleen Lights. And that was the last time that I used the pressed eyeshadow formula. And that is like, wow, wowee. Like, I need to use that more often. So that's why I'm mentioning it. But now we get to go into the lip category, and I have quite a few lip products. I'm going to start with lip liners, and if you've watched my videos, you probably can guess the NYX lip liners. These are the classic old school wooden sharpenable pencils. They are absolutely incredible. They used to be like $3-ish when I discovered them over a decade ago, and I think at this point they've gone up in price just a little bit. I want to say they're around that $5 mark, $6 at the most, depending on where you purchase it. But these are just so good. Like, it just doesn't get any better than that. So Peekaboo Neutral and Nude Pink are my top 2 favorites. I have several from this line that I've been trying and playing around with, but these are my 2 everyday shades. I'm wearing Peekaboo Neutral today. I lined and filled my lips, and then I'm going to show you my lipstick for the day as well. But these are just so easy. They're easy to apply. They just kind of go on just so seamless and smooth. They last all day, and they're very, very pigmented, and I reach for them more so than I do some of my higher end lip liners. Like, honestly, these can beat out some of my more expensive ones that I have paid 3, 4, 5 times the cost. Okay, lipstick, I'm going to show one, and it's from Revlon. This is the number 755 Bare It All. It's what I'm wearing today. This is a pretty nude shade. It's a little bit more warm, as you can see. A little bit more warm than a lighter, more concealer type of nude that's a bit different in tone. This has a bit more warmth to it, but it's a beautiful shade that I can pair with a kind of more pinky type of lip liner. I can do something a little bit deeper or more brown lip liner. I can use this on its own without any lip liner and not feel like it's too nude and light that it doesn't kind of look right with my skin. I just feel like it is a perfect shade to go with any lip liner. So it's been a long time since I've used a lipstick from Revlon. Like, it completely slipped through the cracks, but Revlon is one of those OG lipstick formulas that honestly, it can't be beat. For the price point, I want to say that these are around $7 to $10. Again, it depends on where you shop for your drugstore products, but that's generally the price point. $7 to $10 is what I have noticed at Target, Walmart, even online, at Amazon. That's kind of the price point of these, but these are just classic, sort of like a staple type of brand at the drugstore for lipsticks. And I just stopped using them, and I don't know why. So when their Instagram page showed some pictures of new shades coming out, I ordered a few. So you'll be seeing those very, very soon because I am excited to share with you my thoughts on those lipsticks. But they're really great. It's a solid lipstick formula. It's a classic cream lipstick formula. It's a no fuss. It's easy. It's simple. And they have so many colors. That's probably the biggest lipstick range at the drugstore. So for lip gloss and lip oil category, I have to hand it to the NYX Fat Oil lip formula. I've been burned in the past with lip oil formulas. Not all of them work great for me, and I don't really see all the hype with the ones that I've tried, at least so far. But these ones are actually really great. They have some pigment to them. They smell good. They feel great on the lips. They're kind of on the thicker side, but thick enough where it stays on and it doesn't kind of slip and slide. Most lip oils that are really thin and oily feeling, they do move around quite a bit. These stay on and hang on to the lips, almost like a traditional lip gloss formula does. And I love these. My favorite of the two, though, is the Supermodel, which is the pink. I'm all about a good pink lip, and this one has a bit of a sheen to it, which actually makes the lips look really juicy. The gloss level on this is pretty intense, though. I like the really big doe foot applicator. It applies quite a bit of product. And this one is a pretty kind of pink shade. And this one, the news feed that's more red, is just more of like a cherry kind of light sheer tint to the lips. That's really nice on its own or with a lip liner. I do like this formula. I do think it's worth checking out. But my favorite discovery for lip product this past year was the Naturium Phyto lip balms. I love these so much that I went back and I ordered a couple more shades. I actually have one sitting on my vanity in a different shade. This is the Goji shade. I'm pretty sure it's the clear one that I have upstairs. I have Petal now. I've been buying these every time I place an order. I always sneak one into my order because they're just great. They're $10 and they're just absolutely incredible and so hydrating and comfortable to wear. It's described as a sheer hot pink, and it does give a nice pink tint to the lips. I will swatch it for you so you can see what it looks like. This is the color here compared to the Supermodel. Supermodel from NYX is a little bit of a deeper kind of rose. This is a much brighter pink shade from Naturium. But I use a lot of their skincare products, and I do like the brand a lot. So I just kind of squeeze some out, and look at the shine. It instantly makes the lips look fuller, juicier. It fills in the lines of the lips. 10 out of 10. And you gotta hand it to it because this definitely amped up this lip look that I was wearing for the day. I wasn't gonna do it, but I can't resist these lip balms. They feel so great. And I am a huge fan of the Summer Fridays lip balms. I've purchased several of those, but these I would say are the drugstore dupes to those. These are $10. They have a range of colors from clear to pinks to berries to corals to deep kind of chocolatey colors, latte colors. Check it out. You will not be disappointed if you try them. I'm gonna link them down below for you. And I've really enjoyed the brand overall. I have a lot of their skincare products and they're working out for me. And I'm just loving that. It's perfect. And that's it. Those are all of my drugstore favorites. The majority of these products, like I said, were huge standouts in 2023. And I know this video is late. The year has already been rolling off and we're already in mid-February, but I figured better late than never, share with you my favorites. Some of these are just absolute gems that I will most definitely repurchase when I run out because I just cannot be without these products. They are just really great products, really great formulas, and they are right up there with some of my favorite high-end products and luxury brands that I love and use on a regular basis. These are products that I implement into my high-end routines and tutorials. They're just really great and they're actually worth the money. So I hope that this video was helpful. If you try any of these products out based off of my recommendations, please come back and share with me your thoughts and your opinions. How are they working out for you? And they will be listed and linked for you down below. Those links are affiliates, so if you use them, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel by using my links down below. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And you can follow me on Instagram if you have Instagram. So do I. We can be friends there and chat. It's always here on the screen. I hope to see you there. Take care, you guys, and have a great week. And I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.